Hey, what's going on? This is Decide New with JW, and today is September 11th. Now, how we remember September 11th is going to be different to every single one of us. I can remember what I was doing on September 11th, and I think for me, September 11th will always be one of the most devastating days in my life and devastating days in the history of America in the modern age. And I can remember exactly what I was doing. I can remember exactly where I was. I can remember watching in complete I can't even explain, what necessarily was going through my mind. I just turned 17 years old, and I remember that I was in high school, and I remember that I was in class, and I remember that the teachers turned the TV on, and myself and classmates sat there and we watched what was going on. And I'll never forget September 11th. And every single year, we do some type of remembrance, and especially in the military and the Marine Corps, we do some type of remembrance. We did a remembrance this morning on the anniversary of it, and it is just something that is so impactful. And I think that it's important to talk about what it is, and to kind of sidetrack from my decide and do philosophy for today specifically, because it meant so much to me, and it meant so much to so many people around the world, and it always will. And it was one of the biggest tipping points for me on why I joined the Marine Corps. I wanted to do something more with my life. I wanted to serve my country in a noble cause, and ensure that I supported and defended freedom as a whole, and tried to ensure that things such as that never happen on American soil again. And it's very, very sad to remember what happened, along with after so many years of further on investigation on what all went into the hijackings, and the decisions that were made on the ground floor from the fire department and the police department, and the mayor, and things that they were trying to do and things that they were trying to accomplish, never knowing and never understanding what was going to happen from a complete big picture. Firefighters and police officers are heroes, and they run to the sound of chaos. They run to the sound of gunfire. They run into burning buildings. They run to save lives, and it is very, very amazing what they do. I think even if they knew that some of them would have perished that day, they still would have done it. I full-heartedly believe that, because it's what's inside of them. It's what they do for a living that ensures that everyday normal citizens can live with the safeties. Now, when we think of September 11th, we think about those firefighters and the police officers that ran into those buildings. We never knew that the building was going to come down. We never knew the severity of what all was going on in the moment. And I think now, especially now, 16 years later, we look back at that, and in 50 years, on the 50th anniversary of it, we're going to continue to look back, and we're going to continue to think of the different things that could have went better, and we could have done differently, and if we would have made this decision, or if that person would have made that decision. And I think at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is heroes ran to rescue individuals that were injured, that were trapped, that were in danger overall. And to them, I commend them, and I will never forget their selfless sacrifice that they made to do what it is and do their job by trying to save people's lives. And so on this day, September 11th, 2017, on the 16th year anniversary, I put aside my decide and do philosophy, and I put aside my video for just a discussion about what it means, along with ensuring that we never forget what happened, and we never forget those individuals that went before us and sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice, and didn't wear the United States fatigues of their country. They wore blue and they wore red, and they were firefighters and police officers and heroes that gave themselves up to attempt and to try to save the lives of those that were innocent, because every single individual in both buildings, every single individual in their surrounding area was an innocent life that was taken too soon by horrible individuals with hatred in their mind, and because of that, those individuals, those they perished way too soon. They perished, before they should have ever perished, and I'll never forget it. So I hope that you would never forget it, and I hope that when you look at these civil servants that defend and support our livelihood on a day-to-day basis, those firefighters and those police officers that are within our communities and around the world, we never forget what they do and what they're deep down inside, the true and the good individuals that they are overall. And I think that September 11th definitely can remind us what it was, along with remembering something so horrible that brought this country so close together, and all in a supportive role to what was going on. So thank you for those individuals that did what they did and tried to save lives, because that was their job, and they were doing exactly what was expected of them, and they were doing what they wanted to do, and they lived to do overall. So to them, I say thank you, and I'll always say thank you. And to everyone else, let us never forget what happened that day. Let us never ever turn a blind eye to the evil that is in this world that can possibly cause harm to us, and we just have to remember that. We have to remember that, especially on this day, and in reality, in every day, because there are evil people out there in the world that want to cause harm, not just to our country, not just to the United States, but to every country. There are bad people in every country that want to try to cause some harm, and although we might feel like we're safer than we were 16 years ago when it comes to certain things, the evil that was in the world then, it's even more now. So we have to ensure that at the end of the day, we always survive based off of more good than evil in this world. So until tomorrow's video, I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you do some type of remembrance on this very, very special day of September 11th, 2017, the 16th anniversary of the horrible tragedies that happened on 9/11. So thanks.